Hello everyone, my name is M.Hum. I'm a student of Methodist University of Indonesia. And here I would like to explain about functional grammar. And basically I would like to talking about transitivity in functional grammar. First of all, before we are going to talking about transitivity in functional grammar, we must know first what is functional grammar. Functional grammar is a grammar that puts together the patterns of the language and the things you can do with that. It is based on the relation between the structure of a language and the various functions that the language performs. Functional grammar also describes language to an analysis of communicative meanings that learners will need in order to express themselves and to understand effectively. Okay, now we are going to talking about transitivity in functional grammar. First, we must know the definition of transitivity. According to Messing and Mayer in 2012, transitivity is simply the study of what people are depicted as doing and refers broadly to who does what to whom and how. In general, transitivity refers to how meaning is represented in the clause, and it plays a role in showing how speakers encode in language their mental picture of reality and how they account for their experience of the world around them. In transitivity, we must pay attention in three aspects of meaning. The first is participants. In participants usually includes people, actor, things, sayer, and censor. The second is processes. In processes usually includes verbs, verbal groups, state is being described, and what kind of event. And the third is circumstances. On this part, it explains detailing where, when, and how something occurred. Okay, after we know the definition of transitivity in functional grammar and three aspects of meaning in transitivity, now we are talking about processes of types in English that explain how the processes in transitivity are explained. First is material processes. This is the outer world of actions and events. And the second is mental processes. This is the inner world of consciousness. Third is relational processes. This is of identifying and classifying the world. And the fourth is behavioral processes. This is the border between material and mental. And the fifth is verbal processes. This is the border between mental and relational. And the last is existential processes. This is the border between relational and material. To illustrate the differences between the process types, think of how we might represent a discussion of the weather. If we say it is raining, it means we are focusing on the world of action around us, or the weather as a material process, or we call it material process. Or we might, however, construe the rain as some entity that has a quality or attribute or relational processes, and say the rain is heavy. The rain is heavy. Yeah, it calls, or we can call it relational process. On the other hand, we might shift this into our sphere of consciousness or mental process and say, I think that is raining. Yeah, we can. These are the three core process types. Further, however, we might construe the weather as a world event that does or doesn't exist. We can say there's a storm coming, or as an existential process. you can call it existential process. And we might ascribe this to some sort with a verbal process. Or for example, TV say that there was a storm coming. Yeah, and this is called verbal process. Okay. Finally, we might assign the weather sound, in this case metaphoric behavior, using a behavioral process. Or we can say the wine is holy. The wine is holy. Well, that's all about my explanation about transitivity in functional grammar. I hope this video can be benefit to all of you, and you can understand all my explanation in this video. Thank you for watching, and bye.